Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are continuing doing probability, and our topic today is going to be dependent events. Like we did before, we want to first start with an example. Then it's going to be easy to understand, by giving an explanation at the end of the this video. In our example here, we're having a box containing 4 blue and 3 yellow buttons of the same size. So 2 buttons are randomly selected from the box without replacement. Means that they are put aside. So we want to find here the probability that both are yellow, or the first is yellow and the second is blue. To answer our first question now, we want to find the probability of having both buttons yellow. And both buttons are yellow means that we will have the probability of having both the first yellow and the second yellow. And that also means that we will have the probability of having the first button yellow times the second button yellow, given that the first is yellow. It means that because they are dependent, we have to have the we have to have the first button yellow, and in that condition we can pick the second button yellow. Now in our container or in our box, we have 4 blue and 3 yellow buttons, so we have in total 7 buttons. Now let us pick our first button or select it. So the first button, we want to have a yellow button, and that out of 7 buttons, its probability is going to be 3/7. Okay, and this button that we picked is not replaced in a box, it's put aside. It means that if you want to have, like we said here, we're not having a condition that the first button is yellow and we want to have the second one yellow. Okay, so our second button will be picked out of the 2 yellow buttons remaining, and that in a total amount of 6 buttons remaining in a box, and then we're going to multiply that together because we need to have the first one yellow and the second one yellow. That's what we said here, and this is going to give us here 7 times 6. Okay, and you can see the 6 are canceling out, and the final result is going to be here 1/7. And that's the probability of having both buttons yellow. Now we want to have the first button yellow. Y stands for yellow, I didn't tell you, and second blue, B. This probability actually means that we will have the first button yellow, and given that the first button is yellow, we want to have the second button. Okay, we already the probability of the yellow button, or picking the yellow button, is 3/7, and times what we have in remaining in the box is 6 buttons, and now we're picking out of 4 blues, so we're gonna have 4/6. Okay, because this is here 4 blues in the box, and here we're having 6 to choose from. Okay, so this is gonna give us here we will have here, this is 12. It means 2 times 6 over 7 times 6, and as you can see, the 6 will cancel out, and we're gonna have 2/7, and that's a probability of having one yellow button and the second one, the first button yellow and the second one blue. This is bringing us to say that the probability, like we saw here, the probability, this one here and that one, the probability of having yellow then blue equals to the probability of having yellow times the probability of having blue, given that yellow is selected. It means that they are dependent. So this is here. It means that if you want to have the probability of yellow and then blue, or yellow and then yellow, like we said here, you're gonna first have yellow, and make sure that you pick yellow. You can pick the blue out of the box. According to the information we had in this example, we can say that two or more events are dependent if they're not independent. Of course, just the contrary. Okay. And dependent events are events for which the occurrence of one of the events does affect the occurrence of the other one or the other event. As you can see here, that's what we had here. We had to have two buttons, yellow here. So the first button was yellow, and considering that the first is yellow, we could pick the second yellow. So it means that they are, kind of dependent. And the same thing goes for this one here. We had the first button yellow, and in the condition we can pick the second one blue. That's why they are dependent, and it does affect the occurrence of the other event. And of course we can conclude by saying therefore that for two dependent events A and B, the probability of A then B equals to the probability of having A times the probability of having B, given that A has occurred. That's what we said. So this is how you can work out dependent events. Okay, now we're done with these compound events: dependent, independent, and complementary. Our next video is going to be only about practicing. Okay, thank you for watching again. Until next time, bye bye.